Welcome. If you need some support, check out my free IFS guided meditations at faithfullygrowing.com. Additionally, if you're finding this podcast helpful, consider making a tax-deductible gift to keep IFS accessible to all. And you can do that at faithfullygrowing.com/donate. Welcome back to IFS Meditations and Insights. I'm Tim Fortescue, here to help foster wholeness and healing through an internal family systems lens. In this caring space, we aim to dive into self-discovery and inner knowledge. I truly believe that when we accept all parts of ourselves, we're able to experience deep love and live more fully. I'm thankful to be part of your path to inner peace and sacred connection. So settle in, open up your heart and mind, and let's begin another episode. Welcome back to another episode. How are you? How are your parts? I know it's a good reminder for me, and maybe it is for you to not forget to pause for a bit and check in. So maybe just check in for a bit with your internal world right now and just see what you're noticing. All right. And yeah, let's both try to remember to pause this week. And I know it can be challenging, though. Well, this week, we're going to get curious about a topic that is fundamental to understanding our inner worlds. And what we're going to get curious about are the protective parts of ourselves. These parts are vital in shaping our behaviors, responses, and how we navigate through life. And you can find some other content that I've put out on protectors, and particularly the common protector fears. And if you need help accessing that, reach out. I'd be glad to point you in the right direction. But let's start by identifying which parts of us act as protectors. These are the parts that step in during challenging situations, often without us even realizing it. And it may be helpful to think about those moments when you feel stressed, anxious, or threatened. Which parts of you become activated? Here are a few common examples. The critic. Often the critic is this harsh inner voice criticizing your actions to prevent failure or judgment from others or from other things. And it might say things like, you're not good enough, or you'll never succeed. And then there's the perfectionist. This part pushes you to strive for flawlessness, to avoid mistakes and negative outcomes. The avoider. This part may urge you to steer clear of situations that feel risky or uncomfortable, keeping you from speaking up or attending social gatherings. And the caretaker. The caretaker compels you to put others' needs before your own, to maintain harmony and avoid conflict. And I don't know about you, but I recognize all of these parts, and particularly that caretaker, in my day-to-day life. And recognizing these parts is the first step in understanding their roles in your life. And let me share a personal story, as I've done in the past. I like to keep it personal and to let you know that, man, I struggle in my day-to-day life in staying aware of my parts and continuing to know that they're doing the best that they can and not forgetting about them. And here's just a little story about my own experience with protective parts. Well, there's a common part that comes up in my system, and I still notice this part at times. I even noticed it this week, and the part I'm talking about is the avoider part, trying to protect me from the discomfort of feeling out of place or inadequate. I'm on a committee that plans an annual mental health festival in my small town. And at a recent meeting, my avoider part was particularly active. As soon as I walked in, I felt a wave of anxiety, and the avoider kicked in, whispering, "You don't belong here. These people are more successful and confident than you." And I spent the time of the evening, not that I was gonna leave and walk out, because that caretaker, that part that wants to keep peace, whatever it is, we were at a table and there were only a few people in attendance, and it would have made a scene if I would have left. And so there were multiple parts at work, but this avoider part would have headed for the exit or maybe not even showed up. And again, it encourages me, well, if you have to be here, check your phone, hang low, avoid deep conversations. And the turning point in this situation and in past situations came when I first realized that this avoider was active and decided to engage it and take a moment to thank it for trying to protect me and acknowledging its good intentions. And I realized that this part was shielding me from past experiences where I felt judged or inadequate. But I was able to remind it that things were different today. These people were different than the people that it may have been used to. I've never felt any judgment and just a graciousness for whatever I was able to contribute. And by appreciating its efforts, I created space for understanding and healing. I began exploring alternative strategies, and I'm continuing to do that because it happens regularly. This avoider is building trust with me and is beginning to trust things are different, but still knows it's been doing its job that has worked for a long time, even if there may be a better way. But doing things like grounding exercises and positive affirmations, you are good enough, you do belong, to feel more secure and confident in social settings. So I hope that this insight into my life is helpful for you and gives you some encouragement in knowing that you're not alone. We're all in this together.